Check, check. Seconds, let's ride. Oh, baby. The FLUKE Vikings. Let's go. Woo, 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 woo. Jair called it, Mark. Jair called it. The FLUKE Vikings. Let's go.
He called it, baby. He called it. Let's go.
That blowout win? How about it? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, my God. 41 to garbage time 17. They basically didn't score the whole game. Everyone was nervous, including myself. Yeah. I had no idea what to expect. I felt okay. I think we were talking about this before we went live. I felt all right, but I don't know, man. That was oh man, this day could not be better. 2023 honestly, could not be off to a better start.
No, they picked the best possible time to have the game of the year. Like the game of the year, the game of 2023 already. Like you can't top that. That is insane. Like incredible win. Like, yeah, I was saying before, like I felt kind of quietly confident they could comfortably win the game. If they didn't just like pack us things and kind of mess it up. But I didn't think it would look like that, especially when the Vikings had the ball at the 1 yard line, like after about 5 minutes of the game. And they only ended up scoring 3 points until garbage time. Absolutely insane.
Unbelievable. And Jair Alexander was talking smack all week long. I was a little bit nervous, to be honest. I mean, I love Jair, but you don't want him to get in too much trouble for doing so. However, boy, oh boy, did Jair fasten the seatbelt Alexander come up and just destroy. Oh my God, it was amazing. Dude, that was everything you could hope for when somebody talks that much shit and backs it up.
Yeah. Yeah, he talks so much shit, like so much shit. And after the first the incompletion to Jefferson and he hits the gritty. And that was like, and it was second down. Like it was only I was like, then it was third down. And I was like, if we don't get off the field now and he goes on and has a big game, this is really going to come back and look really dumb. But you know what? Jair was right. We should have trusted him. The Vikings, the FLUKE, Justin Jefferson, we knew it.
We knew it. And you're exactly right. Once he hit that gritty, that could have been the most memed like video of all time if we ended up losing that game. But boy, oh boy, am I glad we did not lose that game. Dude, we've got so much to talk about. Let's dive right in. How about that first quarter? The offense, it felt like could not get a first down to save their life, but I guess it didn't matter because our Lord and Savior, Keyshawn Nixon, decided that he was finally going to break 105 yards and took it to the house. And then on top of it, the blocked punt, the special teams in general, I don't even know where to begin. What an insane start to this game.
Yeah, it was insane. Like this was the kind of game that like these two teams invite this kind of chaos. Like, and that's exactly what happened. Like the first quarter of the game was absolutely mental. Yeah, I mean, Nixon, like just before, I think it was after the blocked punt, I tweeted out, Keyshawn Nixon's going to have a kickoff return touchdown to make up for this debacle. And then, of course, instantly he does it. I couldn't believe it. But he's been threatening it, obviously, for weeks and weeks. And you just think at some point, the other team is going to have a way to stop him because, like, he can't be this good at kick returns. Like, surely he can't be this good at it, but he's the best returner in the league. It's absolutely nuts.
Oh, dude, it was unbelievable. It was worth every second of waiting for that to happen because, gosh, since 2011, that was the first time since 2011. Unbelievable. Thank you to Gabriel in the chat letting me know my volume is a little low. Hopefully it's a little bit better there. I've been having volume issues with this stream. I guess that's what happens when you produce and direct and talk on a stream at the same time. That's why Corey and Aaron don't do that.
Yeah, when you're running the show.
Exactly. I mean, that's what happens, right? At this point, who cares though? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Soder, thanks for the super chat. Dominated with the run and they won. Shocking. Oh my goodness. That was the only offense they could get going. Rodgers couldn't hit a wide receiver to save his life. It felt like, other than obviously Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb with a couple of those slants. The offense was kind of anemic unless, if not for the run game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when they pulled up Rodgers' stat line at the end after they pulled him out of the game, I think he had 154 yards and the Packers put up 41 points. Like, that's like insanity. Like, what reality is this? But yeah, it all came from the running game, and there were a few times where they started neglecting the running game and trying to throw it deep, and we kind of know how that tends to go. I think you tweeted it out earlier that Watson and Rodgers weren't quite on the same page. There could have been a couple of penalties, in fairness, but the refs were kind of letting everything go. But yeah, the running game, if they can run the ball like this consistently, they have a chance in the playoffs if they get into it.
Absolutely. Dude, this is the Patriots formula. You double team the other team's best weapon and you run the ball until they can't do anything about it. If you can legit do this for the next 4 or 5 games, not only are you going to the Super Bowl, you're a Super Bowl champion. Now, it's a tough task. I don't know if anybody saw the Detroit Lions put up a route today, just like we did. So, you know, they've got a great offense too. We did not play well the last time we played them. Yes, it was in the middle of our darkest days, but we've got a lot to talk about before we get to next week because, we talked about the first quarter. We talked about how, oh my gosh, they couldn't do anything. They finally put up, some points, and thankfully the interception. How about Darnell Savage, right? Gets benched, comes back, because Rudy Ford isn't playing, the type of, they had a lot of speed on the field in Miami. So I'm thinking the game plan was just to, put match speed for speed, which worked out great, obviously. But Darnell Savage, way to come back, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, such a special moment for him. Like it must have been such a difficult few weeks for a player, a former first-round pick, and at times has played really well, and then had a tough season last year, and then obviously this was the low point this season, and like you say, gets benched. And it sounds like he's just kind of had almost like a mental shift in terms of kind of think he talked about it, like just doing his job when he's on the field rather than trying to like make all these plays. And it seems to be working out. Obviously, he was just kind of in the right place at the right time for the pick today. But sometimes when you're just doing your job and in the right place, that's what happens. Like ask Preston Smith about that. Preston Smith walks into like 5 sacks a year just because he's in the right place, like at the right time.
It's so true.
Like honestly, so it was so good for him, and he showed off like the athleticism. He had such a long way to go after he picked that ball off. And I mean, he just kept going. And even when he got tired, he just stayed behind his blockers and ran it in. That was amazing. The defense today, oh my goodness. What was it? It ended up being 4 or 3? 3 picks, 4 picks? Turnovers? 3 picks.
5 turnovers, 3 picks, whatever it was total. Unbelievable. Like you said, that is winning formula football. Unbelievable. Brandy, thanks for the chat. What a statement game. Could not agree more. Robin, Paul Allen is drowning in tears. I saw another chat down here from Chris East. By the way, welcome to the Carry the G Club, Chris East. All right. Thank you for doing that. Welcome, Chris. I want to hear Paul Allen's 5-year-old temper tantrum meltdown during this game. That's going to be hilarious. I cannot wait. I know some Packers fan. Some Packers fan is going to find that audio and rip it. That's going to be amazing, electric, incredible. Derek, I saw a shot of Vikings fan on television. It looked like the guy was going to start crying. Yeah, I saw another tweet. I don't know if you saw this, Mark. I saw a tweet where Vikings fans, that's right, the Vikings fans that have been talking all season long, getting up and leaving, not in the fourth quarter, not at the 2-minute warning, not when Jordan Love and Nick Mullins were out there. No. They were leaving in the third quarter with like 7 minutes to go. When it was up, I went, that's interesting. That's interesting because this plastic, soulless franchise with these parasite fans all over Twitter and Cheesehead TV social mentions have been crawling and barking and yapping and chirping. All I got to say to you, Minnesota, is what happened? Because that was hilarious. Leaving during the third quarter, you drove 6 hours for that? Okay, buddy. I love it. Embarrassing for them.
Just it was like I said this, right? No matter what happens next week, the Packers can lose next week. at least they exposed the Vikings for who they are. Like, and people knew this. Like, people did. There was the suspicions were out there, right? But
Yeah.
they exposed them to the full, and it was glorious. Every second of it was so enjoyable.
Dude.
Like you said, there's not a team that's popped off that's been talking so much this whole season, and then they get absolutely wiped out by the 7-8 at the time Packers. Incredible.
7-8. Oh my gosh. I mean, literally
8-8 now.
8-8 now. That's right. And I just need
500, baby.
I know we're back to 500. I can't believe it. I just need one win to get over 8 wins, because I don't know if anybody remembers this. The Cheesehead TV faithful in the chat will definitely remember this. But preseason, David Carr, Derek Carr's brother, the irony now, went on a TV show and says, hey, I'm looking at the Packers roster. I don't think they win 8 games. And I proceeded to make a TikTok about it that got over 600,000 views that was completely trolling him for that take. Therefore, I need them to win 9 games. Because if they win more than 8 games, I'm in the clear. If they don't, I'm going to have to old takes expose and cancel myself for ripping on the guy.
But they already won 8, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think we're good. I got to go back. I don't know if I don't know if the exact quote was, I don't think they'll win 8, or if they'll win more than 8. I don't know. I just need them to win 9. I think if they win 9, I'm okay. Even if, like, I don't know. But I guess getting to 8 is okay. Oh my gosh.
Playoffs, otherwise he'll just say, like, oh, well, I didn't make the playoffs.
Right,
so
exactly.
I was kind of along the right lines.
Yeah,
So, like,
exactly.
they have to make the playoffs now. They have to win next week and get in. And then after that, like I was thinking about this earlier, if they win next week and get into the playoffs, we are playing with house money. Nothing matters. Like, this season was ultimately a success if they make the playoffs. Like, I'm just putting that out there.
I could not agree more. Honestly, that's all I want. I just want, like, anything else. Anything else would be icing on the cake. It does, I'm not going to say it, but it does feel like a certain year when things just started going their way and they're playing their best football at the end of the year. So we'll see if that continues down that road. Big Al, thanks for the chat. Our most complete game of the year? What do you think, Mark? Was that our most complete game of the year?
Easily. I mean, like, it kind of feels weird to say that because, like, we talked about, the offense didn't have to do that much. But you have to say the most complete game because the offense did score, 2-3 touchdowns? Special teams touchdown, defensive touchdown. Like, you can't get better than that. And shout out to Joe Barry. Joe has taken so much flack, and rightly so. And I'm not a big Joe Barry guy at all. But man, the last 2 weeks when they step up, they have stepped up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we Mark Mike. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, we missed the end of that there. It looks like your signal was cutting out a little bit. Don't change anything, though. I don't want you to leave the show. But Joe Barry, yes, I agree 100%. He has been kind of showing up. And I don't know, and this is kind of what we were talking about a little bit last week, as we start to kind of see the signs of this defense stepping up and playing a little bit better. Is it really Joe Barry? Is it really the scheme? Or is it Jair and everyone along that D line just stepping up and starting to become dogs all of a sudden and doing what they need to do? Like Jerry Gray cussing at them. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot to talk about Joe Barry in this offseason coming up.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, I think it's a mixture of the things. I think it's just, for me, it feels like it's just Joe Barry kind of letting his guys play, like just letting them, like it doesn't need to be that complicated. We're not asking for like the most intricate defensive scheme that's ever existed. We just wanted the players to be able to make plays because the talent was there, and we're finally starting to see it now. So hopefully the corner's been turned and they don't look back, because they're gonna have to do it again next week against this. Yeah,
they're gonna have to keep doing it from here on out. Someone in the chat nailed it. Who was that? Let me find you. Drew, we need to take this kind of tone for every game from here on out. We're playing playoff football now. Yeah, absolutely. Playoff football started last week. Started the week before that. It started the week we were playing the Bears, right? The Bears game. So Bears, Rams, like we're playing playoff football. And if we do anything in the playoffs, it will be an unbelievable, incredible, amazing feat, because I just go back to that intro. I can't, for the life of me, can't think of his name, but the guy who did the voiceover for the intro for the Packers trailer when they were in the Super Bowl in 2010. And the first line was, "This team took the hard road." And oh my gosh, are we taking the hard road to Arizona? And we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Like you said, we're playing with house money, so who cares? I'm allowed to have blind optimism at this point. There's no such thing as realism anymore this season. I'm sorry. This I don't want to hear.
This season's off the rails.
Yes. I do not want to hear a single thing from anyone on Twitter about realism and, what's going to happen next season. It doesn't matter. This season is off the rails. Anything that happens, who cares? Anything that happens from here on out is just incredible phase. Gene, thanks for the chat. I love Jair dancing on JJ's grave. Yes, unbelievable. The chippiness, the dog mentality, the grittying. The grittying,
Go on,
the grittying on Justin Jefferson is the attitude, the form, the everything that this team has been missing for years. Years. This team has not had this type of grit about them. Oh my God, that just like turned me up. I love it. I love it.
So insane. I was like high key, really shocked that he didn't get flagged for that, because he was kind of looking at him when he did it. Like I was like, they're gonna flag him for this, but like he just about got away with it.
He knew.
Yeah, can we just quickly talk about a certain Minnesota Viking, please? Zadarius Smith.
Who?
I mean, I heard something like he wouldn't shake Adrian Amos's hand before the game, and then after that, I didn't really hear from him again the rest of the day. So. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, certified clown, Zadarius Smith. Let me address the room real quick about Zadarius Smith. This guy, I don't know how many of you out there are aware of the timeline of Zadarius Smith, but this guy, apparently, this is rumor, okay? I'll go ahead and I'll say it. This is rumor. But I've heard, okay, that Zadarius Smith got hurt outside of the facility while he was doing an off-season workout, showed up to training camp last year when he was still a Green Bay Packer, and then tried to play it off as if he got hurt at the facility because there are certain union contract rules and team policies and things like that that afford you certain health insurance and injured reserve benefits and things like that. So apparently, this is all hearsay, Zadarius Smith didn't like the fact that the team was not on board with him basically like faking that he got hurt at work while they knew that he had an off-season back injury. Okay, so when they placed him on injured reserve for said injury and he didn't get what he wanted, on top of the fact that the team had not extended him yet or made him captain because of his attitude and things like that, I'm assuming, then he decides that he's going to disappear to the point where the Green Bay Packers literally did not know where Zadarius Smith was the entire season. Okay, they had no clue where he was. They couldn't get a hold of him. He stayed away. Then when he comes back to the facility, this is all part of an article that he wrote and talked about with Ty Dunn, the writer. He comes back to the facility and the whole team is kind of acting weird around him. Yeah, I'd say they acted weird around you because you kind of gave up on the team. So you show up, you play great in a playoff game, and then what? You expect the team to extend you after all of that? I don't think so. And then you go to Baltimore, you don't like the contract you get there, so you back out of that and you go to Minnesota a la Brett Favre to try and get back at your team. How'd that work out for you today? Showing up like a clown, not shaking Adrian Amos's hand or doing the captain thing, dude, is ridiculous. I'm over him. I'm so over Zadarius Smith. Honestly, dude, thanks for what you did as a Packer. I really, really loved you when you were here. When he was here, I loved him. I loved him when he was here. Like, it was incredible.
I have a Zadarius Smith jersey upstairs that will never be worn again.
Yes, dude, changed the culture of our team. But to show up and pull all those shenanigans, man, I'm over it. What a clown.
Absolute clown. Well said. Thank you, Tyler. Because, yeah, that was like, there was so much weirdness that went on with that situation. And like, he came back and acted like it was all the Packers' fault. Like, and that's just like, based on things we hear, just categorically kind of not true. And yeah, he obviously took the release hard, and I don't even think it was a contract thing with Baltimore. I think as soon as Minnesota was like, oh, you can just come here and play against the Packers twice a year, he was just like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure that's a snake. That's a snake thing to do. No, honestly, whatever.
Like, you can't begrudge him that opportunity. Like, it's fine, but like, then if you're gonna do all this talking and then you're gonna not shake the hand of a guy you played with for like 3 years, and like have that level of disrespect, and then do nothing in the game, like,
yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, and whatever, like, obviously I've got my fan hat on right now and I've got my fan glasses on right now. So I'm going off on them. But like, yeah, good for you. Good for you getting the bag for your family, whatever's it is. But dude, you got to relax, man. What a snake. What an absolute snake when it comes to the Packers. Sam Elliott was the one who did that voiceover that we talked about earlier. Love that. Soder, thanks for the super chat. Yes. Joe Barry with no Rashawn Gary dialed up the best performance of the year. Good for Joe. Yeah, we were talking about it. You can't not give the scheme some credit. You know what I mean? You can't not.
Yeah. And even, you know, I was thinking I have to tell on myself a little bit here because I'm like a lot of Packers fans, right?
Yeah.
In one of the drives, I think it was the drive when the Packers were up like 18 points. I think it was the Vikings' first drive after halftime. They were like picking their way down the field, like slowly over the middle, like 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. Like, and I, like a lot of people, was like, oh, please don't do this. Don't just let them back into the game. But then what happens ultimately is Kenny Clark forces and recovers a fumble. And this is the thing where it's like, this is why Joe Barry runs the defense he does, especially when he's in the lead, because you basically make the Vikings pick their way down the field and not make a mistake. And eventually they do make a mistake. They made a huge one, but it can be a hold. It can be anything that puts them behind the sticks. And it makes sense. You're up by 18 points. So I had to almost tell on myself there because I was getting frustrated. And ultimately, it works when you've got a multi-score lead. There's no need to be super aggressive and let them back into the game with one big play to Jefferson or something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, props to the defense today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to not give credit where credit is due for sure. And scheme is a part of it. There's all sorts of parts of it. Sithos, who did Z not shake hands with? It was Adrian Amos. I think it was Matt Schneidman tweeted out at the beginning of the game when they meet in the middle for the coin toss and the captains are out there. Z, of course, probably put it in his contract that he wanted to be a captain because he's a big crybaby about that kind of thing. They stood out there. Amos was a captain. Z was a captain. And I guess Amos reached out his hand to shake his hand and he wouldn't do it. So clown behavior, in my opinion. Justin, thanks for the super chat. Jair is Jefferson's daddy, just like he told us. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude. I mean, unbelievable performance by Jair Alexander, backing up every word he said. Let's go on here. Barry said the nickel corner is very important to the scheme. Just completely agree after watching that this evening. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And what I loved,
100%.
You know, yeah. And you know what my favorite part speaking of defense, my favorite part about this game was that I watched a Brett Coleman, who does a lot of film breakdown for the NFL. He's worked for the NFL. He's got a pretty successful YouTube channel. He did a breakdown about how the Vikings defense is logistically probably the worst defense in the National Football League, simply because they literally play like cover 6 or cover 9 match basically every single snap. Every single snap, they play like the same coverage. So my favorite part about this game today was the fact that LaFleur and Rodgers and company did what they needed to do. It wasn't so much that they were amazing offensively, right? They found a way to take advantage of a terrible defense. And that's all you can really ask for in this league. Like you're never going to have, you know, obviously any given Sunday, but I wasn't expecting them to like blow them out. I just wanted them to do their job, and they did their job tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that the only drive I can really think of, I'm probably forgetting other ones, but I mean, I think it was like the second offensive drive or third where they kind of got to, and this is just like as sometimes it's like the Packers offense is the only thing that can stop the Packers offense, because I think Aaron Jones had a 9-yard run. It was 2nd and 1, and they didn't gain another yard. They ran 3 players and turned the ball over. And one of them was like a toss to AJ Dillon, like outside.
Oh, is that the one that Z blew up?
And then Rodgers tried to throw on 4th down back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think they were banking on him crashing down hard on that play because he's really aggressive. That's what I think. But anyway, yeah, like that's the only drive for the offense where I can really say, like, come on, guys, like you didn't do your job there. Like you got past the 50 and you turned the ball over on downs. Like that's on you. But other than that, they were efficient enough, and that's without Watson having a big day.
Yeah.
And Aaron Jones was out of the game by like the 4th quarter because they didn't need him anymore. So, you know.
Yeah, I think the 12-9 Rodgers to Watson connection, like we talked about earlier, is definitely going to improve with practice. I think not practicing all week definitely hurt them. So hopefully they can figure that out for next week because we're going to need them. Big B says Mark is losing to me again in fantasy. Mark.
Yes, that's very true. I tell you, we have a Cheesehead TV league this year. It's my first ever year playing fantasy football, and I was undefeated. I think I won my first 8 weeks, and then Big B handed me my first L, and then I lost 3 straight games after that, and then we met again. We're meeting today in the fourth playoff in the playoffs, and he's beating me, so I'm going to be 4th place. But you know what? I'll take it. I'll be back next year, back stronger. You know, Jalen Hurts injuries haven't helped me, but no one cares about my fantasy team. So
I love that Big B just had to stop by the chat to let everybody know that. That is amazing. Z was really quiet today. Yeah, thanks, Big Al. Z was definitely really quiet today. Corey, if the Packers win next week, are they in? Yeah, and it's going to be amazing. They definitely have to win next week. Hey, shout out to the Browns, who I am not a fan of in the slightest bit. But hey, shout out to the Browns for getting it done today. I appreciate it. You know what? Shout out to the only player on the Browns that I'll recognize, and that's Amari Cooper and Chubb.
Yes, Amari. Thank you, Amari Cooper. Thank you. Thank you, Carson Wentz.
Yes.
Also, Carson Wentz is confirmed. I couldn't believe they put him in for this game, and it was a blessing. So thank you for that. And yeah, like the fear I was thinking is like, if we win out and they just don't get the help they need, that's going to be terrible. Like, what a horrible feeling that will be.
That would just be devastating.
It's nice going into week 18 knowing that you don't have to think about any other result now. Just watch the Packers game and hope they win, and that's all you need to know.
Yep, 100%, 100%. Yeah, that's literally it. You win out and you're in. Literally all the stars aligned. We got every single piece of help that we needed. Could not be any better with that. I'm trying to pull up some tweets here as we get going. But while I do that, if you would, Mark, tell me what you think the Packers' chances are against the Detroit Lions today. Because like I said before, or next week, because the Detroit Lions, also we got to talk about what slot are they going to play in, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they don't even have it scheduled yet. Which day and time?
No, they don't. I think they announce it during the game tonight, which game is going to be the solo game for next week.
Okay.
It's not quite a win and in for both teams because the Lions will have to win and get help from Seattle. So that could prevent them from picking that game, but it still might well be that game just because Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at Lambeau and all that kind of thing, and it's a divisional. Obviously, the Lions can still make it. I think, going back to the question, their chances are good. It's a good team coming in, and a team that will not quit and will play hard the whole game and will go for it on 4th down and will try everything to win. They'll bite your kneecaps off, apparently, so but ultimately, if it comes down to Aaron Rodgers or Jared Goff at Lambeau Field, you have to like the Packers in that scenario.
Yes, 100%. I mean, if that's what it comes down to, that's who you want, 100%. Let's take a look at this. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it's not even working. This is what happens when you let an amateur try to produce a show.
What's going on, Tyler?
Yeah, what is this? That's embarrassing. What is this? Okay. Anyways, everybody go to Twitter. Aaron Nagler just retweeted it. Elton Jenkins got one of those big Packers hats. The big hats, the trend this year. Everybody's wearing them. It's hilarious. I don't even know did I break this thing? What's going on? I don't know. Anyways, Elton Jenkins got one of those big hats. It's hilarious. Dude, there's not much else to say about this game. Dude, we cooked them. We cooked them. We did everything we said we were going to do, and it was amazing.
We absolutely. Yeah, the only thing we talk about is that every single thing was good. Like Aaron Rodgers gets a rushing touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah,
amazing,
incredible.
And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, Mason Crosby hitting the 56-yard field goal right before, when he was lining up to take that kick, I was like, there is literally no way in hell that
the
Mason Crosby.
How did we miss not talking about that?
Field goal.
Oh man, how did we miss not talking about that? The
Yeah,
Crosby kid.
There is no way that this.
Well, and what was funny? Oh my gosh, Mark, you're gonna laugh at this if you can even still hear me. Soder says Brexit has fried Mark's internet.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not good. Anyway,
you're still with us, but it's okay. We're wrapping it up. Mason Crosby came out. The only thing.
I can hear you anyway.
The only thing I wanted to say about the field goal was that Ahmed, who got pulled up because of his powerful leg, and then pulls his groin during a kickoff where he couldn't help out anymore. That is just classic Green Bay Packers football. I love it. 68% chance now for Green Bay. Thank you, Soder, for that. More than likely will be on Sunday Night Football. Let's kind of hope. I think the Packers play better at home in prime time. So we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. I think that would just like add to, in my opinion, the chances of the Packers winning it, just like they've been there before in those kind of big games at home that you have to win. 100%. So in prime time, even though it won't be good for my sleep, it'll hopefully be better for the Packers' chances.
Hey, it may be the last game.
Yeah, 100%.
It may be the last game of the season. So, I'm not going to manifest that. I've been manifesting wins for the past 4 weeks, and it seems to be working for me, taking the Aaron Rodgers route. Everything short of the ayahuasca, or Pachakarma. So we're keeping it chill, but I am dabbling in the manifestation. So, Mark, your internet sucks.
The words are spells, Tyler. Oh my God,
your internet sucks. But you know who doesn't suck anymore?
It seems like it's fine.
I know. But you know who doesn't suck anymore, Packers fans? That's the Green Bay Packers. That's right. The Green Bay Packers are 8-8. We're back to 500 after everybody left us for dead at 4-8. We beat the Minnesota Vikings, the plastic soulless franchise with the parasite fans who have been trolling and going crazy on the CHTV mentions and my personal mentions and everybody Packers fans mentions all year long. No longer can they stand on the leg of Justin Jefferson, who was shut down by Jair lockdown seatbelt. Alexander, we love that. Unbelievable play from everyone tonight. Mark, it's time for you to go to bed. Me, it's time for me to go party. Everyone else, it's time to go celebrate because the Packers are back in it, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. One more win.
One more, and we're in. One more, and we're in. Take your crappy internet, go party. Everyone else, go party. Go Pack, go. The Green Bay Packers are back, baby. The Pack is back. Woo! Somebody in the chat said, don't let LiveX see your Wi-Fi or they're going to fire you, Mark. What a performance. At least we kept you this time. I'm going to stop the stream. Everyone have a good night. Go Pack, go!